Bind on equip. 3 words that represent a type of item that might just be the largest reason a successful economy exists within World of Warcraft. It's also the type of item that the GM of the World First Guild Limit would like to have removed from the entire game. Honestly, Max, that's dumb. Hello and welcome, I am Zerbraxi, and I just want to say, I am recording this during the middle of a nor'easter, so hopefully I don't lose power, and to keep warm, we're going to put on a winter hat. Alright, I've wanted to do a video on this type of topic for quite a while, and after a lot of debate and a lot of rearranging some things, I have come to you with this 10 awesome BOE items in the Burning Crusade. Now, whether this is that you want them because you want to have an item with good stats, or if you're just maybe wanting to be aware of an item that's more valuable than you might think when it drops for you, hopefully this video will help you with either of those things. So without further ado, let's go. Being a cloth caster in TBC is a bit of an interesting time. Overall, about 5 pieces of your gear can be crafted and will be your best in slot until late tier 5, and in some cases into tier 6. However, for those of you who just couldn't care less about spending that insane amount of time and gold to get those tailoring pieces, there do exist some pretty awesome BOE items. When you look up incredible BOE cloth pieces, you'll constantly find reference to the will of Edward the Odd. This epic BOE world drop can come from pretty much any level 70 or higher elite mob. While this item is pretty decently strong and has quite the legacy, what if I told you that it's also severely overrated? Allow me to introduce to you the Robe of the Crimson Order. The reality is that getting the Frozen Shadow Weave or Spellfire robes is going to take quite some time and a substantial amount of gold. Since loot drops are also still relatively low, you can't always bank on getting your tier gear all that quick. Robe of the Crimson Order, though, it doesn't care about that. It's a blue that can drop from any level 68 or higher elite mob, including all the trash packs from heroics. Let's just take a quick look at these stats though. It has higher spell power than that of the tier 4 mage and warlock chest pieces. It has an insane 30 hit rating, which is like 2.5% hit, which again provides even more valuable secondary stats than the tier 4 mage and warlock chest pieces. The only thing that saves tier 4 is the fact that they have stamina and gem slots. Outside that, for a level 69 BOE blue, nice, this is an incredible item to have at the start of TBC, or when you're just first getting into endgame content. Let's get going though with something a bit more classic. If you played TBC, then you'll remember seeing this flamboyantly blue bow all around you. Valenos's longbow is just barely out of the realm of mediocrity, but it's the reliability that makes it valuable. This is hardly a rare item, and I'm sure classic TBC will be flooded with them, which is great for all of you hunters out there. Until you get the Sun Fury Bow of the Phoenix from Prince Malchezaar, your only real other options for good bows would be the Gladiator crossbow if you like PvP, or the Exalted bows from Honorhold and Thrallmar. If you don't want to bother PvPing and you don't want to wait to hit Exalted, then grab yourself Valenos's longbow. It's pretty rad. Speaking of rad, the Beast Lord Dungeon Set 3 for Hunters is completely busted, and I have no idea how it's never been nerfed. The 4 set bonus is arguably good enough to carry you into tier 5 content, so if you're playing Hunter come TBC, expect to be grinding this set out quite a bit. Since it's only a 4-piece set bonus though, which of the 5 items in the set should you swap out? Arguably, your best choice is to leave out the Beast Lord Cuirass and replace it with the BOE Breastplate of Rapid Striking. While the Beast Lord chest has 3 sockets, it has half the agility, less attack power, and no hit rating. Whether a hunter or enhancement shaman, this is definitely an item to keep your eye out for. Let's give some quick love to all those priests, druids, and mages in the house, though. Along the road through the Burning Crusade, I would just like to remind everyone that if you want good buffs, then get your friends who play those books, those class books. Get them ASAP. Gift of the Wild rank 3, Prayer of Fortitude rank 3, Prayer of Shadow Protection 2, and Arcane Brilliance 2, and of course, the new Conjured Food and Water. If your friends already have these and you happen to pick one up, then feel free to rip off that other mage who's begging for the better water recipe. I'm sure after Classic he'll have enough gold to spend anyway. Another group of people who might have some pretty good amount of gold from being able to sell their services in Classic are going to be the tanks. Tanking in TBC is when things start to get a bit more interesting, especially since there are now 3 fully viable tank specs that all serve very unique and helpful purposes. One of the best items that you can grab early on would be the BOE ring, the Band of Impenetrable Defenses. This ring is absolutely insane if you get it early. While as a tank, you might not always run with 2 survivability rings, as an expertise one may also be really valuable. If you have this item though, then you know that you can reserve 1 of your 2 ring slots at all times. The Band of Impenetrable Defenses is arguably the best defensive tank ring until the Ring of Sundered Souls from tier 5. Even then, on the fights that you do want a double defense ring, you can still use your Sundered Souls alongside your Impenetrable Defenses because it's just that good of a ring. If you're not a tank and this item drops for you, it will most likely be worth a good chunk of money. If you are a tank and this item does drop for you, I mean, then congrats, you have a pre-raid and tier 4 best in slot ring. The next item that I do want to talk about isn't just because it's decently good, but because it offers a unique element to gameplay that is long gone from World of Warcraft as a whole. If you're a rogue raiding in TBC, then your pre-raid BIS boots are the fell leather boots from leatherworking. However, if you're not a leatherworker, then allow me to introduce to you the Master's Treads. Not only are these boots pretty competitive with your pre-raid BIS item, but that little extra green text increasing your effective stealth level by 1 is still such a unique mechanic. To incredibly oversimplify how this mechanic works, each effective stealth level reduces the distance an enemy can see you in stealth by 1 yard. While this one item may not make that entire much of a difference, you can stack these effects through enchants and talents and other items such as the Knight's Eye and Shadow Song Panther trinkets. Especially in Arena, stealth detection could just be that thing to make or break a game, and the Master's Treads might just give you that slight edge. Playing around with these utility stats is just something I really wish WoW would have done more with, but for now, at least rogues get to have some of that weird fun. I think it's pretty important to note that not every item on this list is going to be reasonably priced. Heck, probably not even relatively reasonably priced. The new expansion, Feel That Window, is going to probably inflate a lot of these costs quite a bit. And then there's this item, which is probably going to be incredibly pricey the entire expansion. If you're not rich, you're poor. And if you're poor, don't bother. I present to you the Exodar Life Staff. Doomlord Kazakh loves doing Kazakh things, and one of the many things he does is drop BOE items. The talking point today is the Exodar Life Staff. If we compare this weapon to the Night Staff of the Ever-Living from Nightbane, you can see that the only real trade-off is raw stats. The Life Staff still offers the same amount of intellect though, along with a whopping 18 MP5. When you combine that with the insane 3 available sockets and the 2 MP5 socket bonus, the Exodar Life Staff isn't just powerful, but it's also incredibly versatile to whichever stats you currently need. If you're a healer going into raiding, then this weapon will confidently carry you into tier 5, and the sockets really allow you to adapt to your needs on the fly. Unless you're not rich, that is, in which case, I hope you enjoy your Kara loot. Now, if you do have some gold as a healer, but not enough for the Exodar Life Staff, might I recommend to you the Life-Giving Cloak. This cape giveth life, but taketh away gold. This is yet another BOE that'll carry you past tier 4 and into tier 5 content regularly, but compare this healing cape to that of the Stainless Cloak of the Pure-Hearted from Prince Malchezaar, and you can see how much of a difference there really is here. You do lose some stamina and a little intellect, but the additional 12 healing is really hard to ignore. Before we go to the final item, I wanted to drop a quick mention to the Gloves of Pandemonium. For level 62, these gloves are incredible pre-raid items. Even gloves such as the Dungeon Set 3 for Mage are completely outclassed by the Gloves of Pandemonium, and they aren't overcome until finally into Karazhan. Since they are only level 62, there's a good chance that many people aren't going to consider them that valuable, and that is something you can use to your advantage. The final item I want to talk to you about today is the reason I made this whole video. It's the item that I think of the most when someone mentions any TBC BOE item. The item is legendarily known. It's so iconic, but it's also common, it's cheap, and it's just powerful enough to carry you through pre-raid and through tier 4 if your luck isn't very good. Enough of the hype. I present to you the Crystal Pulse Shield. If you played the Burning Crusade at all, then you saw the Crystal Pulse Shield all over the place. A blue BOE with 24 intellect, 35 healing, and 6 MP5 is the perfect starting item for getting you into Karazhan raiding. If we look at the Kara healing shield, the triptych, whatever that is. The stats are incredibly close still. I always loved how upgrades in early versions of WoW were very minor, so you could utilize that fact to your advantage with something like the Crystal Pulse Shield. Then there's the Shaman DPS Shield, the Draenei Honor Guard Shield as well. Of all of these shields though, the Crystal Pulse Shield will forever be the most famous for its common drop rate, its BOE status, its great stats, and that beautiful golden skin. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, then you can thank the Crystal Pulse Shield for inspiring this video. It's a pretty cool item. If you want to see more just TBC stuff or classic WoW stuff or some other modern WoW content in general, please subscribe to the video. There's a lot of stuff coming, a plethora of items coming, and there's also like a pretty good backlog on the channel now for you to go catch up on. I'm also really bad at plugging my other social media, so I'm going to try to do that now. I do have a Twitter that I'm pretty active on, so please feel free to follow me on Twitter. That's @Zerbraxi, and Twitch, which streaming has kind of restarted again, so that's pretty fun. Mostly it's TBC preparation, and I love playing with people, so if you want to come around and do some TBC prep I play mostly on Mancrick US, feel free to come around. That's about all I have for you, so thank you very much for watching again. If you have a BOE item you think I overlooked, or maybe one on my list that's overrated, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!